Hey guys, how's it going? It's Femi here from Northeast Acura, and we're about to test drive 2023's Car of the Year award winner, the Acura Integra. We're going to be testing out the 6-speed manual transmission. The 6-speed manual transmission A-Spec tech comes with the adaptive dampening system up front, so the drive is going to be smooth, but also it's going to be a fun drive. All right, so let's go. So a lot of people aren't familiar with driving a manual transmission vehicle, but I'll tell you what, this Acura Integra makes it very difficult for any newcomers to manual transmission. It's a car that's very difficult to kind of stall out. Also, it's got some assistive systems, like let's say you're on a hill, it doesn't roll back, too much. So you don't have to be afraid if you have to like switch gears on a hill, if you're at a full stop. So right now, I'm about to get onto a highway. Right now I'm in normal mode. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna switch it up to sports mode just to kind of get ready for the highway. And we're just gonna kind of move around on the highway. I love driving manual transmission because it gives you as much control as possible of the engine, or the transmission, I should say. And believe it or not, the drive is still smooth. So in sport mode, what it does is it tightens up the steering for me. Like driving a sports car, of course. I'm just waiting to kind of get off the ramp so that we can actually kind of move. Even though it's a 1.5T, you do get the quickness of it when especially if you're driving the 6-speed. It is pretty quick. It's also good in the city, which we're probably going to get on a bit later. We're going to get on to some city driving, driving in the road. But I just put it in sport mode, just to kind of get the thrilling feel of being able to drive it like a race car. And with the release of this car, one thing that we all noticed was the sound of the engine. It sounds beautiful. It's a beautiful sounding engine. If you hear that, you can hear it inside the cabin. Also, with downshifting, what's great about it is there is rev matching with this. So it does matches the revs as you downshift. So what I'm gonna do now is we get off the highway and we get onto the road. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch the dynamic mode to comfort for a more comfortable drive, of course. And then what that does is it immediately, I feel it in the steering wheel, that immediately eases the steering wheel up from the tighter sport that I was just in, from the tighter, feel in the sport mode that I was just in. So The steering is a bit much easier, almost like butter. Now you still hear the engine, of course, because you're driving a manual, but as far as the acceleration, it isn't as, you don't feel the G-force as much as if you were in the sport mode. Now, of course, you know, it's supposed to be a comfortable drive. That's why it's in comfort. You definitely feel the adaptive dampening system up front in the front wheels. It's a comfortable drive for a small car that's low to the ground. It's pretty comfortable, and it's sturdy. I'll have to say. Now, what's cool also about the Integra is just the digital display. So I'm looking up front, and the A-Spec tech does come with the heads-up display, but I'm also looking at the digital display and just seeing real-time the information that's on here. So like the lines, it's taking account of the lines on the road and where I'm in. So even if I don't have my lane keep assist system on, I can kind of see where I am if I look down at the digital display. So my true traffic just popped up to update me on the speed of the road that I'm driving on. So now it's letting me know the speed limit, which is good to know when you're driving, especially when you're driving a car that's as fun to drive as this. You want to be careful that you're not driving over the speed limit, and it's good because it lets you know. It'll blink first when the speed limit changes, and then it'll show up on the digital display as well as the heads-up display if you're driving in an A-Spec with technology package. One cool thing too is if you check out the little car that's showing on the digital display, you'll see it in real time. The lights go on. Another thing is those lines, they change every time the road changes. Once the car is aware of it, if the road curves, you'll see the road actually curving on the digital display. But I also think it's cool that it lets you know you have your brakes on. The brake lights on the car that's on the digital display shows up, and then also the blinker as well. So the road is actually curving now as I curve, so you can kind of see it. So what's great about this is it allows you to anticipate where you're driving on, especially if you're driving on some main roads and the car can detect it. It's visible. You can anticipate the turns that you're going to have to make. This is part of what makes this car a bit fun to drive. You can follow the road, but then you can also follow the road on the digital display. What's also pretty cool here is even with a manual transmission vehicle, you have the adaptive cruise control. So that's pretty cool. You can set the distance at which you want the following interval for the car in front of you to be. So now I was toggling between the different dynamic modes on here. There's also an individual mode, which I find very cool because you can actually set up how you want your driving experience to be. So you know how I mentioned where in sport the steering is a bit stiffer and where it's comfort it's not? If you wanted to, you can set the engine to be sporty and the steering to be comfortable. I know that's probably how I would set it, but you can definitely customize the way you want your driving experience to be. And on Integra, that's pretty cool. All right, guys, so we just test drove 2023's North American Car of the Year award, the Acura Integra A-Spec Tech. If you'd like to find out more, definitely feel free to give us a call, or if you'd like to schedule a test drive, more than happy to do so. Definitely come in to Northeast Acura.